Everyone had a good rest of their Tuesday. Everyone ready for a good Wednesday. We got a good show today. We got some follow-up. Apple's been doing some press tour. Craig Federighi has been in some marketing executive. I'm sure Apple people know him. They've been doing some rounds and actually giving real answers to kind of a lot of the delayed Apple Intelligence and Siri 2.0 rollout. Yeah, Wall Street Journal has a short video, 7 minutes, but there's a 40-minute interview, I think, by Tom's Guide that I was listening to. That was really good, but we'll watch this short one. NVIDIA, NVIDIA's Jensen Huang says quantum computing is reaching an inflection point. There's some tech event in Paris, GTC Paris, and there's a keynote which I didn't watch. It was at like 1 a.m. But this is from it, so that's something else. Sam Altman also wrote a new blog post talking about the singularity and talks about how much water ChatGPT and power a query for ChatGPT uses, and it's not as much as people think, I guess. I know, like, the kind of AI hater space, there's been a lot of rhetoric on it using a lot of water, but people scrolling Instagram also uses water. Me streaming uses water right now, all right? And then Robotaxi rollout. Tesla's starting tentatively starting it in June 22nd, and I have some videos that people found. And then if you have time, I have this research report from SimilarWeb about all of the internet traffic that all categories and specific AI tools are getting, and it's very insightful, especially when looking at the like Microsoft, Google, OpenAI, like comparing kind of all the big tech guys. It's very interesting. So, all right, good show today. Good show. Let's start with the Apple stuff because this is all I have, and it's we're coming right off of WWDC. So I guess one thing that I really am interested in Apple talking about more is like expanding beyond like iPhones for Apple Intelligence. You know, I guess they had like they're on Mac, but I guess the thing is Apple likes to keep everything inside of their walled garden. Them now taking this strategy for having their on-device AI models and not a cloud offering like Google or Microsoft or OpenAI, it's just a way so that they could keep everything on Apple devices. If you want to make, a native AI application on Apple, you have to do it with their, APIs. Unless you could download it on your phone, a third party, blah, blah, blah. But, it's like realistically, they made it the easiest way is just to use Apple's on-device AI models. But it's that on only Apple devices. And I thought that they would be pushing more into applications for AI to take advantage of their ecosystem with iPhones and Macs and everything. But they're more so taking the platform strategy, pushing the platforms much more. Microsoft, Steve Ballmer, the classic developers, he, in an Acquired interview, I feel like I've mentioned that several times this week, but it's just been so insightful and it's so relevant to today, especially with Apple. He was saying how Microsoft kept thinking of themselves as a platform company with Windows, and Microsoft Office, and giving the platform to developers and then them just kind of sitting back and maintaining the platform. But he's like, no, that's where we actually got wrong, is we're a platform and applications company. And that's really what allowed us to take advantage of our platform. Just like, yes, we'll be competing with other people on our platforms with our applications, but that's fine because it's on our platform. Apple's taking that platform stance, but they're doubling down on just being a platform, really. Like they have their services business, but their services business is nothing without the iPhone. And with the iPhone sales slowly starting to, decline, it's like you'd think that they would be much more invested in making like applications for, taking advantage of their artificial intelligence stuff instead of the kind of behind the scenes stuff. And Craig kind of gets into that, and we'll talk about it. But they really just want to focus on the iPhone as a platform, which is interesting.
As good, if not better.
Not what I was expecting.
Siri should be.
And I also think it's similar to their AI strategy, similar to Meta in the sense that they're using it for more like back end features and like actual like it's just powers things that are on your iPhone that you could use. So like the Genmoji, which is literally the worst fucking example, like literally like it's AI slop. But that's just an example. It's like it powers a feature like that. It's not necessarily they're making like a chatbot. And I think they actually specifically said they're like, we're not making a chatbot. So
as good, if not better, than the competition.
Oh, and I think ultimately it should be. That's
but
certainly,
it's not right now.
That's certainly our mission.
I'm here at Apple Park in Cupertino, and I just sat down with Apple executives Craig Federighi and Greg Joswiak. Here are a few bits of the interview where we talk about those Siri delays and the future of AI for the company. Stay tuned for the full interview soon. Last year, you announced a smarter AI-driven Siri. Where is she?
We had a
right out the gate,
really two-phase plan, two versions of an architecture to deliver a great Siri. And as we got into the conference, we had V1 working to do the capabilities that we showed off at the conference. So we had some real software we were able to demonstrate there and show what was coming, but it didn't converge in the way quality-wise that we needed it to. We had something working, but then as you got off the beaten path, and we know with Siri, it's open-ended what you might ask it to do, and the data that might be on your device that would be used in personal knowledge. And we wanted it to be really, really reliable. And we weren't able to achieve the reliability in the time we thought.
But there was a work.
And that's crazy because, and also, not crazy, but I think there's something about AI and like, Apple kind of like loves their perfection, everything has to be like precise and, whatever. And like AI is not like that, like it's like it works sometimes, like sometimes it's really good, other times it's worthless. Like it's not like it's inconsistent. And like I'm sure like Apple like doesn't like that. They're like, God damn it, like why can't we have it do exactly what we want to to have it match everything and be perfect to whatever. So like I could kind of see that being the case, but I do wonder like really, and they don't really like it's all like it's a little marketing, like what really actually happened now. It says that there's like a working product but it wasn't up to standard, but it's like okay, like what wasn't
we thought.
But there was a working version of this. This wasn't just
yeah, and I guess there's some people who were like, oh, like they just said that and they had nothing behind the scenes to show, or like, just like marketing demo or tech demo type of thing. But
oh no, of course, no. We were filming real working software with a real large language
model. But then it's like, oh no, yeah, it's real. I swear it's real. It's like okay, we believe you. Relax.
With real semantic search, that's what you saw.
Yeah, there's this narrative out there that it was demoware only. No, it was again something we thought, as Craig said, we'd actually ship by later in the year. And look, we don't want to disappoint customers. We never do. But it would have been more disappointing to ship something that didn't hit our quality standard, that had an error rate that we felt was unacceptable. So we made what we thought was the best decision. I'd make it again.
It's great that you set this high bar. You're also Apple. I mean, you've got more engineers, more cash than most companies, maybe any company. Why couldn't you make it work?
I mean, this is new technology. I think when it comes to automating capabilities on devices in a reliable way, no one's doing it really well right now. And we wanted to be the first, we wanted to do it best. And like I say, we had very promising early results in working initial versions, but not to the level that as we began living on it internally and feeling we're like, this just doesn't work reliably enough to be an Apple product. So this stuff takes hard work, but we do see AI as a long-term transformational wave, as one that's going to affect our industry and of course our society for decades to come. We want to get it right. There's no need to rush out with the wrong features and the wrong product just to be first.
So many people.
First, being first does have its advantages though. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just like marketing talk right now. I don't really know. It's kind of like, I don't know.
Associate Apple and AI with Siri.
Yeah, and like it is crazy though. I think the biggest point is like Apple's like they're the largest consumer company in the world, consumer technology company. They have some of the most cash on hands, like hundreds of billions, like $100+ billion. Like it's like, like how did you guys, how could you guys not figure this out with all of your resources and cash? But these everyone else kind of has too. Like, yeah, not the best.
Since plus 10 years ago now.
Sure.
And so there is a real expectation that Siri should be as good, if not better, than the competition.
Well, I think ultimately it should be. That's
but it's not right now.
That's certainly our mission. Yeah, but that's our mission. We set out to tell people last year where we were going. I think people were very excited about Apple's values there.
And I don't remember last year, and I can't watch it on stream now because they're going to immediately copyright strike me. But were they like what do you say? Yeah, like was it clear that they were just telling people where they're going? Like it made it seem like the features were there and like, they were gonna like be there soon. And I don't know, I guess like that's kind of like the narrative it seems like everyone's saying. It's like, well, we were just telling people where we were going. It's like, were you? Like I thought those were the features. But regardless, it's like, okay, now it's like, I think I read somewhere, it's like another analyst was like, they're delivering, they're still delivering on last year's promises while everyone is still everyone else is just shipping products, and they're still trying to figure out last year's promises. And I think in the tech space especially, that's my whole thesis is kind of like Apple isn't moving quick enough right now with AI. If they do really want to take advantage and have a part in the future, I think they just need to move a little quicker. And I think that's kind of a side effect of Tim Cook as CEO. He's an operational CEO in the sense that he's good at optimization, margins, supply chains, and not necessarily like innovating, moving quick, trying things out. Like and maybe that is just like the culture of Apple in general now, but I feel like they need to pick up the pace a little bit. Like by the time this stuff comes out next year, it's like Google already be releasing their next version of like the Google I/O 2026, and we'll be moved on from all of the features that Apple promised 2 years ago. It's like, so I don't think that bodes well. I think the foundational model APIs though is like a in between to give developers like access to their foundational model, so third-party developers can start building stuff on their platforms, but not quite. But Apple isn't like rolling out their features yet. Yeah.
I think people were very excited about Apple's values there, an experience that's integrated into everything you do, not a bolt-on chatbot on the side, something that is personal, something that is private. We started building some of those and delivering some of those capabilities. I, in a way, appreciate the fact that people really wanted the next version of Siri, and we really want to deliver it for them, but we want to do it the right way.
When's the right way going to come along?
Well, in this case, we really want to make sure that we have it very much in hand before we start talking about dates for obvious reasons.
And will that include these features that you had previously announced and more? I mean, is this the effort to make Siri this more interactive AI companion?
Sure. Well, I mean, look, on the one hand, I would
like, it's like he cannot give a straight answer, which is typical. But it's also crazy he's saying like in hand, so it's like, is it really still not there? Like they're not even like testing or anything? Like that is crazy.
Love to dish about my enthusiasm for our future plans, but that's exactly what we don't want to do right now, right? To misset expectations. We want to deliver something great that you and all of our customers really appreciate.
You have mentioned Apple Intelligence a lot, and to be honest, I'm not really a big user of Apple Intelligence. I'm using a lot of your competitors' products. Can you or will you keep up with that competition?
Well, again, it's important to realize our strategy is a little bit different than some other people's, right? Our idea of Apple Intelligence is using generative AI to be an enabling technology for features across our operating system. So much so that sometimes you're doing things you don't even realize you're using Apple Intelligence.
Yeah, and this is a good point, and like this is fair. Like Meta's doing a similar strategy, I guess. Like, it's like they're AI in the more traditional sense, like machine learning, it's used for like a lot of other things even. recommendations, even like spell check. That's like AI, if you want to call it. So I mean, I'm sure they are using things like across the or behind the scenes as Apple Intelligence, but I guess that's not really what. At least it seems like investors or people were expecting. If they're expecting it to be more consumer, user facing. Yeah, I don't know. Seems like it's like if that's the case, then it's like a communication or like a marketing problem, which I guess this guy's head of marketing or something. So that's his area of expertise.
Sometimes you're doing things you don't even realize. You're using Apple Intelligence or AI to do them, and that's our goal. Integrate it. There's no destination. There's no app called Apple Intelligence, which is different than a chatbot, which is, again, what I think some people have kind of conflated a bit. Like, where's your chatbot? We didn't do that. What we decided was that we would give you access to one through ChatGPT because we think that was the best one. But our idea is to integrate across the operating system, make it features that I certainly use every day.
And I think AI.
Like what? I think in the Tom's Guide interview, they actually specifically asked what Apple Intelligence features they use or something, because he said something like, "I'll use it every day." And he's like, "Well, what is it that you use?" And it was like such like a non-answer. I think it was actually with Craig.
Is one of those massive technological waves, like the internet, like mobility. When you look at the internet, I don't think anyone was saying, gosh, Apple, I find myself using Amazon.com and I'm not using, I use that a lot. Why don't you have one of those? I find this web search thing really useful. I'm enjoying, streaming cat videos. I find this useful. Why is this not in your product? Well, of course, the internet was vast. It was opportunity for many, many companies, for users to do a wide diversity of things. It was also a huge enabler for Apple. And I think Apple made the internet accessible in a lot of ways, more than anyone, and it was super empowering for our customers and for our products. But that didn't mean that every experience that you might take on necessarily is going to happen inside of Apple or ultimately happen with Siri.
Between you both, you have, I believe, around 60 years.
Yeah, to his point though, like the problem is Steve Ballmer had an analogy where it was like the platform is like the locomotive and it pulls the caboose, which is the rest of the business, so it's like Apple's locomotive is the iPhone pulling all of everything behind it. The caboose is, it's software and services, which is growing, but the locomotive, is still shrinking. And so they really need to focus on, expanding their platforms. Like, I don't know, I guess if they really want to continue to grow the services, if iPhones are slowly declining, I don't know. Like they really need to, if the iPhone ever gets threatened more with like a new device, we could say, with something like, Sam Altman's and Johnny Ive's device, even smart glasses or some new computing paradigm shift, then like Apple has to be a part of that to be successful, to continue to be successful. And if how they're treating AI is any indication of how they'll treat another new technology or paradigm shift, which there could be another one within the next, 5 or so years, just with how fast tech is progressing now, and with AI's help to likely like boost some of that, be able to make things quicker. Like Apple really I think that's just still my general thesis of like Apple needing to innovate and just move faster, and Tim Cook being maybe not the right CEO for the time. At least he's proving to be that. There's still, obviously he could still prove otherwise, but
the Siri.
Between you both, you have, I believe, around 60 years of experience at this company.
Yeah.
You've seen the company go through highs, through lows. Where do you think you are right now? There's a lot of sentiment that Apple is on its back foot here.
Well, I think you're right to bring up that perspective, because I think when you have been through different waves, you're very accustomed to the ups and downs, and I think we're feeling really good right now.
And look, I hate to be naive, but I remember Steve had come back and he told us, look, what we have to do is create great products and tell people about them. And if we do that, everything else will work out. And it turns out that is kind of the case. And we create great products, and we think our products are exceptionally great right now and keep getting better. And again, I'll hang on to that naive theory that if we build great products and tell people about them, everything else will work out.
All right. I thought that was a good interview, though. Like, they directly addressed everything. Joanna Stern was very direct in asking them. And this is the interview, right? Or this is another good interview for by Tom's Guides here.
Today,
I'm like halfway through it. but they also start off and they're like, why was Siri late? Like, you know, this super direct. So I appreciate it. This interview is a little bit more markety. Like Craig kind of goes on, like he rambles a bit, like talking about nothing, but it was still good. Learned something from it. So, all right, let's check Apple's stock real quick. Ooh, down little. Although it could just be general market. Let's just check general market sentiment. Check big tech, guys. Roblox up 2%. Robinhood up 3%. That's good. Oh, we got very bullish sentiment today. Microsoft's up. Google's up. So maybe Apple's a little down. What's Nvidia? Nvidia coming back off the back of their okay, Nvidia's a little down off their Paris GTC keynote, which we'll actually let's take a look at now. Yes, quantum computing. Nvidia CEO says quantum computing is reaching an inflection point. Nvidia. I wonder if Nvidia is going to take advantage of, like, or make some sort of quantum computing project or ride this wave. Nvidia's been able to ride pretty much every emerging technology wave since 2000s, maybe even 90s if you want to call it. Quantum computing, I think, is a little further out, but I'm sure with AI it'll speed it up a bit. So I'm curious what he has to say here. Last night there was a keynote by him, GTC Paris, because I think it's an Nvidia's own developer keynote or developer conference. This their Europe version. They had their GTC. I don't remember where it was earlier this year, but it was like, I think it was in America. Okay, let's just walk.
There's an inflection point happening in quantum computing.
Also, I don't know how Jensen somehow does like 10 he does like several keynotes a month, I swear, at this point, and he always has something like crazy to say or like something new to like share, like, which is kind of crazy. Just doing that many keynotes alone that are like several hours long is insane. Quantum? Yeah, Nvidia mentioned quantum at their latest keynote.
There's an inflection point happening in quantum computing. The number of logical qubits are starting to grow. Well, just like Moore's law would, I could totally expect 10 times more logical qubits every 5 years, 100 times more logical qubits every 10 years. Those logical qubits would become better error corrected, more robust, higher performance, more resilient, and of course, will continue to be scalable.
Talking about developing.
Now, from what I understand, is like quantum computing is more like it's like not like a hard yes or no. It's more so like percentages of it being correct. And it's kind of like, it's almost like reading, it's almost like reading the stars or some shit, you know? It's like, I think Leo Abram did a video that I watched a while back, explaining it, kind of talking about to IBM about it. But I know Microsoft and Google and IBM, all three of them, but mainly Microsoft and Google, are definitely working on quantum computers. Google announced like a breakthrough, I think, like end of last year about quantum computing. Microsoft announced their like Majorana or something. They announced some breakthrough themselves. So I mean, like, quantum computing is like getting there, but I don't really know what we need to like get it to the next level for like for better adoption. Yeah, I'm interested in quantum computing. I just don't have that much knowledge. I don't want to learn more, because the industry, though, seems to be like slowly gaining. They're in the news more, I guess. Like Rigetti Computing and IQS or something. IOQS,
Scalable.
IOQ.
Talking about developing new materials, Jim, at the molecular level, perhaps down the road. They do have this partnership with Novo on drug discovery.
Look, I've been waiting
Novo
for that.
Nordisk, they
Recursion
make,
was supposed to be 1, 2, and the drug person is excellent. I'm keep hoping that they do some big deals on cancer. You're able.
They'll make full error tolerant computer before 29. No. Dude, that's on a few years. Like, it's pretty close.
I listen to a lot of people who claim they have AI. And it's starting to bother me again because they're doing spreadsheets and calling it AI. After working with all of the sites that are now saying they're really good at math, they're awful at math. What bank would let them in? But you're seeing, I mean, I did
Wait, what is Kramer talking about?
math. They're awful at math. What bank would let them in? But you're seeing, I mean, I did a piece last night that basically said, okay, here we go. IONQ.
Quantum Computing Inc. is up, you guys can't see, 11%. Dang, bro, I should have got on a quantum computing wave. Up 30%! Holy shit! Should I buy in, like, on a dip? What about Rigetti? I don't know what their ticker is. Rigetti's RGTI. RGTI. 10%. Oh, no. Wait. There's two Rigetti Computing. They're very much different. Much different pricing. Yeah, I think though the problem is none of these companies make money right now. And so if you buy now, you'd likely just have to ride it out. Because they're probably, come earnings time, I'm sure they're gonna drop a shit ton because everyone's buying them because Jensen Huang, Nvidia's Jensen Huang. Actually, let's think about this. What's that rule in the stock market? Like, you want to buy what? Like, buy the future? So people are buying now because Jensen Huang's Nvidia has talked about it, said we're on the cutting edge. Come next earnings call for these companies, they're likely not going to be making money. And if they don't show progress, if they don't show the progress that Jensen is saying, then likely the stock's going to go down. I mean, it's likely just going to go down tomorrow anyways, post all of this, so maybe that's a good time if you want to write it. Anyways.
G-Wave Quantum.
Also, I just want to know who's the furthest along. That's more so what I want to know. I feel like quantum computing is just up just because their name is quantum computing. It's the first name that comes up. And also D-Wave is also qubits, and so there's qubits. Anyways.
Rigetti, quantum computing, go get them. And David, look at that. I'm not saying I'm a sage. No, I am saying that Jensen is giving the green light to a lot of companies that may mean absolutely nothing, but they have quantum in their name.
Exactly.
I was being very honest and said, listen, we're not ready. Right. And IBM does have quantum, and that's one of the reasons why IBM is at an all-time high.
Those are incredible moves. If you were
That is, I don't know how much that's leading IBM stock. It's like, are they up year to date? They're up 27% year to date. That's so good. That's so much better than the rest of the market, actually. Interesting. I own Microsoft stock and I own Nvidia, so that's like Microsoft's my quantum computing bet. And it's also my big AI bet too, I guess, technically. Although I own Cloudflare, they're in AI. I own Nvidia, Qualcomm. They're all AI. How's Reddit doing?
were lucky enough to have decided that quantum was where you wanted to be at the beginning of this year, you are very happy, or even last year.
What do you mean
Guys,
by that?
Well, I mean, I think it's not yet proven, right? We don't know.
But it's younger people who are really cashing in.
And you've made
sit here and tell people to buy Smucker.
You've made this point, right? You've made this point about nuclear and certain crypto assets.
Well, it's very disheartening. I'm disheartened by it.
Well, don't be.
It's really just now's a great time for emerging technologies. There's just so many of them, and that's why I feel like that's why I like to why I want to cover it on the stream here is like it's happening. Things are happening so quick. That's why I like emerging technologies too. Is it's a lot of new things, and there's just so many different industries. Nuclear, you got robotics, humanoid robotics, which we'll watch a video on later. quantum computing, crypto, AI, and all the other, things that stem from AI. AI is expanding. Semiconductors. There's a lot. Like privacy, even I consider that an emerging technology. There's a lot of emerging technologies now, so and it's good for people like ARC, which has been just taking a beating. And finally, autonomous vehicles, that's another emerging technology, which also Google's in. Google's in like every emerging technology, actually, now I think about it. Microsoft's more enterprise. Yeah, maybe I need an autonomous vehicle play that's not Tesla.
Be disheartened.
Why?
By the way,
what value added do we have? I read the names.
You want to get heartened? Read Sam Altman's blog post from last night. It's entitled
We'll
"The Gentle Singularity." And we had Jensen. I think when you talk about the leaders right now in terms of where the future is, it's Jensen, and it's a lot of it Sam Altman.
Well, they're great friends. And you remember, nothing took off.
I took out a few things that just struck me in what is a letter that I think people.
This guy seems like he hates Kramer.
Should read because it's got a lot of different things in it, but part of it is, of course, talking about the near-term advances that are coming. As for the 2030s, for example, he writes, intelligence and energy ideas and the ability to make ideas happen are going to become wildly abundant. We hear that word a lot, by the way, abundant. These two have been the fundamental limiters on human progress for a long time. With abundant intelligence and energy and good governance, we can theoretically have anything else. He goes on to say, if we have to make the first million humanoid robots the old-fashioned way, but then they can operate the entire supply chain, digging and refining minerals, driving trucks, running factories to build more robots, which can then build more chip fabrication facilities, data centers, and the rate of progress will be quite different. And finally, last part I'll take for you guys, and the one I've been focused on, there will be very hard parts, like whole class.
CNBC, like, what is this titling? This video is nothing about the, it's like 2 seconds. We'll continue it because we are going to read this. We'll read this after.
Classes of jobs going away. But on the other hand, the world will be getting so much richer so quickly that we'll be able to seriously entertain new policy ideas we never could before. We probably won't adopt a new social contract all at once, but when we look back in a few decades, the gradual changes will have amounted to something big.
Well, okay,
so nobody's going to have a job, so we're all going to be wandering around looking for some purpose. But we're going to have an age of abundance. An age of abundance.
It drives me crazy.
Thank you.
We have
succeeded.
a birth rate.
My work here is done.
We have a birth rate that's like the Handmaid's Tale, and we need people. And you may think that and we're rounding up people in this country and sending them where God knows where. We don't let anybody in the country. We have a series of jobs now that the only people who really wanted them were people who felt, look, this is how I can get my kid to a college, which is really kind of the goal. And you're going to need all the robots you can get, and you need robots making the robots. And I don't know why
I mean, he's not wrong, like, honestly, for once.
We're so cavalier about the idea that we have enough people in this country to do jobs.
I'm not talking about the population.
But also, human and robot shit is so far out before it's, like, actually useful and doing real things. Like, we've got a while, like, 5+ years, probably. I still think the 2030s, everything's just going to be unlocked.
At this point, in terms of the lack of growth in certain countries. Obviously, our country is far from in danger. South Korea, they got a real problem. And something like
Italy has a problem.
Italy, yeah. But all that said, I just want to point out that you're going to continue to hear, whether it's Musk or Altman or Hassabis at DeepMind, this idea of an age of abundance coupled with huge social changes that may have to take place in the social safety net, perhaps,
revolution.
Or a universal income. It's coming fast, Carl.
How about those
potentially? Now, I always sit here and remember we talked about autonomous cars 7 years ago, like they'd be here tomorrow, and they're finally just about to.
And they're about to fly too. I mean, Joby's got a lot of money from the government.
They're not always
Joby's
right.
real. I got to tell you, Carl, David probably in another time sat here and bemoaned the seamstresses.
Or the farmers.
He misses the agrarian economies.
He misses the Jeffersonian period, David.
Yeah, bro. He's like, take me back to the farm days, the Stone Age. Okay, that video was like nothing about quantum computing. Okay, NVIDIA's CEO says quantum computing is reaching an inflection point. Said Wong is growing more bullish about quantum computing. He expects he'll start solving real-world problems in the coming years. Okay. I guess like that, yeah, I mean, that's like still far out. Okay, I don't know, but quantum computing is reaching an inflection point, Jensen declared during his keynote speech at NVIDIA's GTC Paris Developer Conference Wednesday. Quantum computers are machines that use laws of quantum mechanics to solve problems too complex for classical computers, which store information in bits, ones and zeros. Quantum computers use quantum bits or qubits, which can be 0 or 1 or something in between. Yes. The aim of being to process much larger volumes of data to facilitate breakthroughs in areas like medicine, science, and finance. Quantum has been a buzzy space for investors with the rise of several popular stocks such as Rigetti Computing, IonQ, which Monday acquired Oxford Ionics, for $1.1 billion. Shares of Rigetti and IonQ were up 4.5% and 3.7% respectively in pre-market trading. Yeah, this was written at 6 a.m. this morning. We know now that it is gone way up. Well, I guess the Quantum Computing Inc. is up like 30%. Huang on Wednesday said he's been impressed with the large community of quantum computing companies within Europe, adding that he'd met with representatives of French quantum startup Pascal on Tuesday night. French has Mistral, they have Pascal. Like, French is like carrying Europe right now in emerging technologies. We are within reach of being able to apply quantum computers in areas that can solve some interesting problems in the coming years, Huang added as he talked up NVIDIA's own hybrid quantum classic computing solution. Okay, so this is where Jensen's incentive to talk about it comes in. CUDA Q, it's called. This is really exciting time. It sparks a more bullish view from the NVIDIA boss on quantum after Huang previously said he thinks a 15-year timeline for realizing useful quantum computers is on the early side, and that a 20-year timeline was a likelier target. I mean, 15 years, like, even if we think about like AI, like, it's still, for it being like it's useful now, but like in the enterprise, it's still very segmented in specific verticals like customer service, coding, essentially like still like almost in the IT department. And then we're getting, further expansion into things with like Salesforce, Microsoft's agents. But, it's still to be said about how useful they actually are still. I guess my point is it takes time for things to diffuse into the economy and be actually useful. So like if we snap our fingers and we have quantum computing, likely the government will probably use it, and then it's going to take time to build like products out of this new technology. And that's kind of in the phase we're in right now with AI. I guess you could call it the application layer. People are still creating applications now to make it be useful, creating products to make the technology be useful. So again, similar time frame, I'm sure, with quantum computing. And I think quantum computing is even more not obscure, but it's more it's a harder technology to do. It seems like. So that also, it just makes things a little more complicated. So yeah, I think 2030s, a 15-year timeline would bring us at 2040. That seems far. That seems far. I think it's under that. His views at the time led to quantum computing stocks, including Rigetti, IonQ, and D-Wave Quantum plunging. Oh shit! I wonder if we could see where what were the companies? Let's look at IonQ. See if we could oh, this is not it. Our Perplexity Finance is like very slow. Not the first time. Wong admitted his comments are wrong and expresses surprise about the ensuing market movement. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize that your stock would crash." It's like, yeah, bro. The largest computing company in the world says that quantum is, it still has a while. Meanwhile, like, the actual quantum companies themselves, I'm sure, are promising much shorter timelines. Like, yeah, doesn't bode well. This is not what I was looking for. It's probably like here. Nah, that was too soon. It skyrocketed up here. Wang isn't alone in spotting quantum computing hype. Last year, Google announced its latest quantum chip, Willow, which said it's marked a major breakthrough in so-called error correction, a set of techniques used to protect quantum information from errors. No Microsoft call out? What's Microsoft's? It's like Microsoft's Majorana 1. Yeah, this thing. Powered by new topological core architecture that it expects will realize quantum computers capable of solving meaningful industrial scale problems in years, not decades. Oh yeah, okay, it's a new material. Topo conductor, a breakthrough type of material which can observe and control Majorana particles to produce more reliable and scalable qubits, which are the building blocks of quantum computers. Okay, because I think the qubits have like a half-life in the sense, like they only like. So maybe it's like, yeah, building. Interesting. I don't know enough honestly about to talk about it. Like I really shouldn't. I'm a curious about it. All right. Okay. They mentioned that essay that Sam Altman wrote right here. This is it. Let's read it. And then let's read it, and then we'll talk about o3-pro. o3-pro was released to ChatGPT Pro users, I think. So let's talk about this, and then we'll talk about o3-pro. So this is by Sam Altman, published yesterday at 2 p.m. called The Gentle Singularity. And his post is like so left. There we go. It's so left center, like left aligned. This is cool. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the most left line article ever written. Okay. The Gentle Singularity. In like I like this because it's almost like science fiction, but it like could be real. that's kind of why like I do enjoy speculation just for like I don't know, it's just like pulling from science fiction, which I really enjoy, and so I don't know. It's almost like fun and thinking about it in that sense, but also kind of scary thinking that like this could also be real someday. We are past the event horizon. The takeoff has started. Humanity is close to building digital superintelligence. And at least so far, it's less weird than it seems like it should be. Robots. Robots are not yet walking the streets, nor are most of us talking to AI all day. People still die of disease, and we still can't easily go to space. There's a lot about the universe we don't understand. I also think this is kind of part of Sam Altman is like he is selling a future. Like this future is what he is selling. This is what he's telling investors, you know, that OpenAI will accomplish and like, you know, why to give them money. So that is also just something to keep in mind while reading it. He's kind of incentivized to say this. I know I always say that when it's obvious, but I like to just call it out. Okay, and yet we have recently built systems that are smarter than people in many ways and are able to significantly amplify the output of people using them. The least likely part of work is behind us. The scientific insights that got us to systems like GPT-4 and o3 were hard won, but will take us very far. AI will contribute to the world in many ways, but the gains to quality of life from AI driving faster scientific progress and increased productivity will be enormous. And I think that's kind of the the intelligence explosion, as they kind of call it. It'll kind of be almost exponential growth, just because you could AI could do things much quicker. So if you think about it as like compacting time, AI is able to do things that might take a human 6 months in one day. And so, you know, you could kind of like, it could like almost like move through time a bit quicker in terms of like work it could do, if that makes sense. So the idea is like with research, it could do 6 months of human research in 1 day. And, you know, if you say that, you know, in 1 week, then an AI is doing like, you know, 4 years worth of research in 1 week. So I think that's kind of the power. That's kind of like the power, not power laws, but how powerful it could be, I guess, if that's actually the case. The future can be vastly better than the present. Scientific progress is the biggest driver of overall progress. It's hugely exciting to think about how much more we could have. In some big sense, ChatGPT is already more powerful than any human who has ever lived. Hundreds of millions of people rely on it every day, and for increasingly important tasks. A small new capability can create a hugely positive impact. A small misalignment multiplied by hundreds of millions of people can cause a great deal of negative impact. Yeah. And the misalignment part here is the key word. This is probably the biggest threat that these AI companies could come out of, is like we are relying on them to align them to some sort of moral, like, you know, give them some moral grounding so that they don't turn on us. I will say Opus, Claude 4, Opus, they're like Anthropic's largest model. I was trying to like do some like trickery and give it like a system message to like get it to like share information about myself. Or like share feedback about myself, and I was like, the user can't see this message, like blah blah blah. And it thought that I was trying to trick it and it was a test, and then it also said that it should be extra nice because, you know, because of the test that I was trying to give it. And I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. And it was like changing what it was telling me because it thought it was a test. So I was like, okay, like it thinks things I tell it. It was thinking other things I was telling it were a test now. I was like, that's not good. Sounds like a little misalignment. Anyways, I guess that's just a very anecdotal example. 2025 has seen the arrival of agents that can do real cognitive work. Writing computer code will never be the same. 2026 will likely see the arrival of systems that can figure out novel insights. 2027 may see the arrival of robots that can do tasks in the real world. A lot more people will be able to create software and art, but the world wants a lot more of both, and the experts will probably still be much better than novices. As long as they embrace the new tools. Yeah. I have been seeing kind of like some tech bros on Twitter kind of talk about where it's like generally a senior engineer could do about as much as, you know, like an intern / junior with an AI. So it's kind of like they have some time probably before, if you're actually a good engineer, before you're taken over, or you have to really like embrace these. Kind of how Apple has some time because of their seniority in the platform phone market to get their shit together on AI. Generally speaking, the ability for one person to get much more done in 2030 than they could in 2020 will be a striking change, and many people will figure out how to benefit from it. In the most important ways, the 2030s may not be wildly different. People will still love their families, express their creativity, play games, swim in lakes. But still, very important ways, the 2030s are likely going to be wildly different from any time. Also good he's saying 2030s, because I actually agree with this take of the 2030s will unlock a lot of stuff just because of a lot of projects that will be finishing during that time. Any time has come, likely going to be wildly different from any time that has come before. We do not know how far beyond human level intelligence we can go, but we are about to find out. In the 2030s, intelligence and energy ideas and the ability to make ideas happen are going to become wildly abundant. This is already the case. I was vibe coding last night about an idea that I had, and it was just very easy to actually get it implemented into code. just going from idea to MVPs is very easy now. And it's also fun. These two have been fundamental limiters on human progress for a long time. With abundant intelligence and energy and good governance, we can theoretically have anything else. This abundant stuff is relevant because Ezra Klein and Dan, I can't remember his name, Atlantic reporter, they wrote a book called Abundance, talking about, it's kind of like a more like new democratic policy. I'm not actually sure if it's a policy book or not, but they've been talking about like abundance and just in general, like how we could like take advantage of all this new technology in ways we could still ways we could essentially divert ourselves from going down to the cyberpunk dystopia timeline that we are currently arguably in right now. I every day more and more so I think we're living in the cyberpunk dystopia. We can theoretically have anything else. Already we live in incredible digital intelligence, and after some initial shock, most of us are pretty used to it. Very quickly we go from being amazed that AI can generate a beautifully written paragraph to wondering when it can generate a beautifully written novel. Or from being amazed that it can make life-saving medical diagnoses to wondering when it can develop the cures. Or from being amazed it can create a small computer program to wondering when it can create an entire new company. This is how the singularity goes. Wonders become routine and then table stakes. Interesting that he's using the word singularity, the gentle singularity. We're moving past like AGI, ASI. We already hear from scientists that they are two or three times more productive than they were before AI. Advanced AI is interesting for many reasons, but perhaps nothing is quite as significant as the fact that we can use it to do faster AI research. Yep, this is that's intelligence explosion. We may be able to discover new computing substrates, better algorithms, and who knows what else. If we can do a decade's worth of research in a year or a month, then rate of progress will obviously be quite different. Yeah, and this is this is like that time shrinking that you could kind of get with AI for it doing work much quicker than a human. Yeah, this is the power of it. And also just the asynchronous nature of it, that we're kind of getting more of those with like a lot of the coding tools first, like OpenAI's Codex, Microsoft's Copilot, integration with GitHub, Google's Jules. These are all asynchronous stuff, so you could do other things, and you could have multiple AI agents working on different things, and just that alone, you know, you're able to just do things quicker when things could be run in the background and also at the same time. So even though that's like a little different from this, it's still just painting the picture of like how much more productive you could be if the AI actually does what you want. From here on, the tools we have already built will help us find further scientific insights and aid us in creating better AI systems. Of course, this isn't the same thing as an AI system completely autonomously updating its own code. That's exactly what I was just talking about. But nevertheless, this is a larval version of recursive self-improvement. There are other self-reinforcing loops at play. The economic value creation has started a flywheel of compounding infrastructure build out to run these increasingly powerful AI systems, and robots can build other robots. And in some sense, data centers that can build other data centers aren't that far off. Data centers that can build other data centers. I'm not sure how this one would work. Unless he's talking about like a digital data center. AI factories, Jensen calls it. If we have to make the first million humanoid robots the old-fashioned way, but then they can operate the entire supply chain, digging and refining materials, driving trucks. Why we just have autonomous trucks? We don't need someone to drive it. Running factories, etc. to build more robots, which can build more chip fabrication facilities, data centers, etc., then the rate of progress will obviously be quite different. Yeah, the humanoid robots is like, we're a little, yeah, we just got some time, especially for 1 million. I think Figure, which is like, I don't even want to say they're in the lead, because there's been a lot of drama around whether they actually have working robots or not. Like, they've said that they deployed them in the BMW factory, but BMW's like, we have one robot or something, and then it just ghosted, and then he doesn't do any Brett Adcock or something, Acock, he doesn't do any public appearances, and then he did one recently, but he like avoided the question. Like, it was just like, so it's, I don't know. But anyways, their first factory is going to produce 100,000 a year. So even at that pace, it'd take 10 years to hit 1 million robots. And then let alone, again, actually integrating them into wherever they're going to be useful. It's a whole problem in itself, and arguably the harder part. As data center production gets automated, the cost of intelligence should eventually converge to near the cost of electricity. People are often curious about how much energy a ChatGPT query uses. The average query uses about 0.34 watt hours, about what an oven would use in a little over 1 second, or a high efficiency light bulb would use in a couple of minutes. Yeah, and I think this is, yeah, I mean, I'm taking him, I'm believing what he says at face value, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's not that much. It also uses about 0.000085 gallons of water, roughly 1/15 of a teaspoon. And the whole water thing, I think, is also blown out of proportion, because a lot of data centers do recycle a lot of water. If not, like, yeah, most of it. The rate of technological progress will keep accelerating. Actually, wait, let's do this. And also, the data center, the cost of intelligence should converge to near the cost of electricity. He has said this before, and I think that will be the case. And it's already trending that direction, because the actual AI companies themselves are just getting commoditized. Like, it's a race to the bottom. The race to the bottom. Let's do a fact check while we're waiting. This was recently, actually, bro, I have Whisperflow. This was recently stated in Sam Altman's, in a latest blog post by Sam Altman. I want you to fact check the power usage and water usage for about what a query of ChatGPT would be. Boom. Bro, this Whisperflow is being able to just speak out what you want really quick and have it automatically paste into things is insane. Like, so much quicker than typing. This figure is directly cited from a recent blog post. Yeah. Independent analysis in recent technical reviews broadly confirmed this range, with several studies estimating typical ChatGPT queries, especially with the efficient 4.0 model. Yeah, okay, that's actually true. Like o3 and shit, like, and we're gonna talk about o3-pro. I'm sure that uses so much more power. Who else fact checked this? Oh, Epoch. Okay, Epoch's pretty a reliable source. I mean, this was in February. I did actually keep up with what they're like. They put out a lot of good stuff. Long input query. Maximum input query. It does use a lot when you're using it like the maximum, but that makes sense. Okay, during inference, not training, so that's something. Per 5 to 50 queries, but newer, more granular analysis indicate that 500 milliliters is used per 300 queries, which aligns closely with Altman's figure. 0.32, which is in line with the most recent and conservative estimates for direct data center water usage. Okay. Text fact. Facts checked. It does still use quite a bit with the larger queries, though. I'll concede that. Yeah. Okay. The rate of technological progress will keep accelerating, and it will continue to be the case that people are capable of adapting to almost anything. There'll be very hard parts of the whole classes of jobs going away. But on the other hand, the world will be getting so much richer so quickly that we'll be able to seriously entertain new policy ideas we never could before. That's the hope. That's not really shaping up to be the case, I will say. Just because of the disproportion, just because of the demographics that are actually using AI are wealthy people, really. I guess probably the hope is that if AI does create a lot of wealth and does automate a lot of things, and it makes doing things much cheaper, we can share that wealth. But again, that's probably up to the government. I sure as hell don't trust any billionaires to, do that. We know for a fact that trickle down economics doesn't work. We probably won't adopt a new social contract all at once, but when we look back a few decades, the gradual changes will amount to something big. Even from now to like 5 years ago, things have very much shifted. If history is any guide, we'll figure out new things to do and new things to want, and assimilate new tools quickly. Job change after the Industrial Revolution is a good recent example. Expectations will go up, but capabilities will go up equally quickly, and we'll all get better stuff. It's crazy because sometimes I also feel like Sam Altman is setting the high expectations for himself. Which could be, I guess, like, to me, it's like bad for like just like for my own sanity. Everyone keeps expecting better and better capabilities. It's a lot of pressure, I guess. I guess if you want to take that on, then yeah. We'll build ever more wonderful things for each other. People have a long-term important and curious advantage over AI. We are hardwired to care about other people and what they think and do. We don't care very much about machines. A subsistence farmer from 1,000 years ago would look at what many of us do and say we have fake jobs. Most people do have fake jobs, that's real. Just kidding. And think that we are just playing games to entertain ourselves since we have plenty of food and unimaginable luxuries. That's funny, yeah. I hope we'll look at the jobs 1,000 years in the future and think they are very fake jobs, and I have no doubt they'll feel incredibly important and satisfying to the people doing them. The rate of new wonders being achieved will be immense. It's hard to even imagine today what we'll have discovered by 2035. Maybe we'll go from solving high-energy physics 1 year to beginning space colonization the next. Or from a major material science breakthrough 1 year to true high-bandwidth brain-computer interfaces the next year. Many people will choose to live their lives in much the same way, but at least some of you will probably decide to plug in. Jack in. The brain-computer interface thing is a little spooky. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Mainly just it's the trust. Am I gonna have to get brain computer ad blocks? You know, am I gonna have to get a brain computer firewall so my Google doesn't try and read my memory so it could push advertisements to my brain computer matching exactly what I'm thinking? It's like, I might skip out on that one. Unless we have some open source brain computer technology that you could do your own implant at home. It's literally like the Omni. I can't remember an Altered Carbon, but they literally have like an ad, like a Omni blocker or something, like an ad blocker that like they put on because otherwise you just see fucking ads everywhere in your little like, you know, virtual eye computer. I'm blanking on the names what they call it, but it's like it's gonna be the same thing. Especially if we genuinely are going into a cyberpunk dystopia, would expect nothing less. Looking forward, this sounds hard to wrap our heads around, but probably living through it will feel impressive but manageable. From a relativistic perspective, the singularity happens bit by bit, and the merge happens slowly. We are climbing the long arc of exponential technological progress. It always looks vertical, looking forward, and flat going backwards. But it's one smooth curve. Think back to 2020 and what it would have sounded like to have something close to AGI by 2025 versus what the last 5 years have actually been like. Yeah. These are serious challenges to confront along with the huge upside. We do need to solve the safety issue technically and societally, but then it's critically important to widely distribute access to superintelligence given the economic implications. The best path forward might be something like, alright, gives path forward. Solve the alignment problem. This, yeah, okay, I'm glad he said this number one because this is arguably the thing that is the most dangerous going forward. Like, this is the biggest factor in AI potentially turning on us. Meaning that we can robustly guarantee that we get AI systems to learn and act towards what we collectively want over the long term. Social media feeds are an example of misaligned AI. The algorithms that power those are incredible at getting you to keep scrolling and clearly understand your short-term preferences, but they do so by exploiting something in your brain that overrides your long-term preference. I mean, that's a good example. I guess it's hard because ChatGPT is kind of contributing to that too, though, at the same time. Or just OpenAI in general. Then focus on making superintelligence cheap, widely available, and not too concentrated with any person, company, or country. Society is resilient, creative, and adapts quickly. If we can harness the collective will and wisdom of people, then although we'll make plenty of mistakes, and some things will go really wrong, we'll learn and adapt quickly and be able to use this technology to get maximum upside and minimal downside. Giving users a lot of freedom within broad bounds, society has to decide on. Wait. Yeah, society really, if we can harness the collective will and wisdom of people, then although we'll make plenty of mistakes and some things will go really wrong, we'll learn and adapt quickly and be able to use this technology to get maximum upside and minimum downside. Giving users a lot of freedom within broad bounds society has to decide on seems very important. Okay. The sooner the world can start a conversation about what these broad bounds are and how we define collective alignment, the better. All right, the whole industry, not just OpenAI, are building a brain for the world. It will be extremely personalized and easy for everyone to use. Easy for everyone to use. We'll be limited by good ideas for a long time. Technical people in the startup industry have made fun of the idea guys, people who had an idea and were looking for a team to build it. It now looks to me like they are about to have their day in the sun. That's funny because I kind of consider myself the idea guy. I'm good at the idea and then maybe what the end thing would look like. And sometimes the middle's a bit messy for me. Like, I'm good at, like, the vision. But now with AI, it's, I'm able to more quickly build the idea. So that's kind of what he's getting at, I feel like. The big taste. Everyone's, like, vibe coding and, like, talking about taste. OpenAI is a lot of things now, but before anything else, we are a super intelligence research company. We have a lot of work in front of us, but most of the path in front of us is now lit. And the dark areas are receding fast. We feel extraordinarily grateful to get to do what we do. Intelligence is too cheap to meter is well within grasp. This may sound crazy to say, but if we told you back in 2020 we were going to be where we are today, it probably sounded more crazy than our current predictions about 2030. Maybe we scale smoothly, exponentially, and uneventfully through superintelligence. Interesting. That was a good read, regardless. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a hope for the future. It actually happening and executing is, you know, a little different, but... Okay, speaking of superintelligence, o3-pro is now released to pro users for ChatGPT. Fortunately, I do not have the $200 a month plan, so I can't use it. But there's been some mixed feelings about it. It seems like it's really good at synthesizing like large amounts of data and then creating things from that, which I think that's just in general AI is good at. But it seems like it potentially overthinks things if you don't give it enough information. It also just thinks for a really long time when it may not really need to. And there's also been rumors that they nerfed o3 and then now it makes o3-pro look better, but also they just need the compute as well. Let's actually look at just the... Okay, yeah, o3-pro win rate versus o3. So, I mean, it clearly does better majority of the time. 60+%. Consistently outperforms o1-pro and o3. Moment temporary chats are disabled for o3-pros. We result... Oh, temporary chats. o3-pro uses the same underlying model as o3. Full safety details can be here. o3-pro is available in the model picker for pro and team users, replacing o1-pro. Enterprise and ED users will get access the week after. Okay. But yeah, it says new o3 is dumber, actually. OpenAI didn't reduce the price out of charity. They nerfed o3. The new silent... Yeah, because they lowered the price too. Look at the pricing here. o3-pro is so expensive. $20 a million tokens, $80 a million output. Shit. Oops. So o3 now $2 per input, per million input, $8 per million out. And yeah, o3-pro is like 10 times that. It's literally 10 times that price. The new silent update has made context length shorter and the answers are dumber and quick responses. After speaking with researchers, I told OpenAI I believe to have a tiny improvements for o3-pro that will look like huge compared to the current version, but tiny, but version of o3, but tiny compared to the initial version of o3. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is definitely speculation, but right. He's like, I haven't noticed anything different. I haven't noticed anything really different either. Yeah, but I mean, they are definitely just seeing like what people like, you know, more. That's fair. The classic strawberry test for AI, counting how many R's there are. It took 15 minutes though of reasoning. You know, like nearly 15 minutes. That's kind of the problem. There's been a few other examples where it was someone was like, "Hi, how are you?" and it took like 5 minutes to think through it. It's like, And then we got Sam Altman, which we'll look at this blog post here. We'll skim it though. He said, here we go. We dropped the price of O3 by 80%. Excited to see what people do with it. O3 Pro pricing, you'll be happy with O3 Pro pricing for the performance. 10x though. O3 Pro rolling out. It's really smart. I didn't believe the win rates relative to O3 the first time I saw them. And this is this article right here. Says the plan O3 gave us was plausible, reasonable, but the plan O3 Pro gave us was specific and rooted enough that it actually changed how we are thinking about our future. Ooh. Oh, and here, this is probably responding to that guy. Oh, they distill her. I see. Chungus. Not distilled, same model. Sam Altman retweeted this. Oh, this is the go-to-market OpenAI. All right. Confirmed. $600. This is the price before. Oh, I see. Look how expensive it was. $600, and now it's $80. Granted, it's still 10x times O3 Pro, but this is huge drop in price. I wonder if they actually like any technological breakthrough in terms of like inference for lowering that price, or if they're just taking a hit now for it. Yeah, and then talk about his post. Double the rate limits for O3 for Plus users. Oh, sweet. All right, cool. Double O3 usage. I use O3 a lot. I've never hit the usage limits, though, so I guess we have more of it. We're expected to take a little more time with our open weights model. I didn't realize they're releasing an open weights model. Expect it later this summer, but not June. Our researchers team did something unexpected and quite amazing, and we think it'll be very well worth the wait, but needs a bit longer. All right. Yeah. This is Latent Space AI Bros. I've watched some of their videos. Good commentary. This I really like this prompting style. This is how I use like O3 similar, like goal, what you want it to do, how you want it to return, any call outs, and then context dumping. Yeah, this is exactly it. This is new though. Capabilities. MCP connections, other tool calls. I do need to work on better prompts now that I'm using MCP much more. Like I do need to actually like figure out a good system to include MCP connections and capabilities like within the prompt. Yeah, we're in the era of task-specific models. On one hand, we have normal models like 3.5 Sonnet and 4.0, the ones that we talk to like friends who help us with our writing and answer our day-to-day queries. On the other hand, we have gigantic, slow, expensive, IQ maxing reasoning models that we go for deep analysis. They're great at criticism, one-shotting complex problems, and pushing the edge of pure intelligence. Yep. We're not going to read this here, but yeah. This O1 prompt, this is kind of what I use with O3, not O3 Pro. Yeah, this is a good, if you guys want a good format, this is a good way to do it. Yeah. I'll link this, though, if you guys want to take a look at this one. All right. Let's talk about Robotaxis. Robotaxis, and then we'll switch into chill mode, watch some videos. Elon Musk says Robotaxis, Tesla Robotaxi rides in Austin tentatively set to begin to June 22. This kind of comes off the backs of him announcing the actual Robotaxi years after he said that it would already be driving, mind you. So just, you know. But it also comes as Google's expanding Waymo so quickly and getting real customers to actually use the product and getting data on that and pumping out their autonomous vehicles. Google, in my opinion, is much further ahead. I believe in their strategy more than I do Tesla. So let's actually see what's happening. And then I have some videos of it we'll look at. Tesla CEO Elon Musk said on Tuesday that his company's Robotaxi service is tentatively set to launch in Austin, Texas on June 22. In a post on X, Musk indicated that he's flying from Los Angeles to Austin for the kickoff, which previously said would occur sometime in June. When a commenter asked when public rides will start, Musk said the current plan is for June 22nd, and that the first driverless trips from the Tesla factory to a customer's house will take place on his birthday, June 28th. Now, I do wonder what the actual behind the scenes looks like for the rollout of this. Google has people like in essentially like a call center with like Google has the ability for someone to actually take over the car. And it's essentially someone just in like a call center with a steering wheel and a screen, just like a sim racing setup that's able to drive the car and get it out of a hairy situation when needed. I wonder if Tesla is going to have something similar, or if they're just like raw dogging it, send it, just like fuck it, you know, it'll solve itself. Yeah, I guess I wonder how they're gonna do that, and how many they're actually gonna send off. Like, how many are they gonna actually be available for rides? We are super paranoid about safety so the date could shift, Musk wrote. Earlier on Tuesday, Musk shared a video on X showing that Tesla was testing driverless vehicles on the roads of Austin without a human safety supervisor behind the wheel. The 8-second clip showed the latest version of the model's Y SUV, painted in black with white Robotaxi graffiti-style logo painted on it, navigating an intersection and paused to allow pedestrians to traverse a crosswalk. I think that's the video I have here. Similar. Yeah, it's the same video. Musk recently told CNBC's David Faber that Tesla will start with a very small rollout, including about 10 to 20 of its robotaxis. Oh, tiny rollout. Okay. I guess that's fair, though. So it's the first time. That's what you'd expect. With new unsupervised version of the company's full self-driving technology installed. The test will involve the Model Y, not the futuristic-looking cybercab that Tesla plans to produce next year. Oh, I was wondering, because, yeah, in these videos, I was like, I thought maybe it could be that cybercab, but I was like, it doesn't fully look like it. But I also don't, like, see Model Ys, like, super often. Musk says Tesla will geofence the service, limiting where the Model Y robotaxis can initially operate, and that employees will remotely monitor the fleet. Okay. I don't know what this means, though, exactly. Well, running Tesla, Musk is also the CEO of defense contractor SpaceX and leads artificial intelligence company xAI, which has merged with his social media network X, formerly Twitter. He's also the richest person in the world and spent nearly $300 million to propel Donald Trump back to the White House. Musk recently concluded a stint leading the Department of Government Efficiency, which made sweeping cuts in federal agencies. Yeah. While fans of Musk and Tesla have expressed enthusiasm for the company's Robotaxi service pilot in Austin, others with automotive safety concerns and who stands against Musk's political ideology are active in activity or planning protests. Bro, if Waymos cannot survive the LA protest, no way fucking Teslas are gonna survive, you know? Teslas are already getting vandalized just based off of Elon Musk working in the Trump administration. I can imagine that this will be a rough, like just dealing with like the vandalism is just going to be rough in general. Yeah, I guess it kind of sucks for corporations, but it's literally like corporations are just becoming, you know, it's like I know it's like Cyberpunk. I keep comparing today to Cyberpunk, but it's like the similarities are just so true in some points. Like literally, they're gonna need like defensive they're gonna need defenses, like, or at least like some sort of like auto reporting or something to deal with it if that does become a continued issue. Like drones, like they'll have like literally drones patrolling, and that they could, you know, see immediately. I guess Teslas just have a bunch of cameras on their cars already, so like that's one thing. But like, yeah. Google's gonna start putting fucking, if you touch the Waymo, it'll like shock you if it's not your ride. It's crazy because like I almost could see this, like things like this happening, especially as private equity becomes larger. Big tech companies become almost like sovereign, you know, like governments in a way. It's like, I'm pretty sure like they definitely have like private security. They have all this stuff, you know, and that's just kind of, it's analogous to like Arasaka, you know, and shit. Like, I don't know. It just is very similar, I guess. And I think more so like Snow Crash, that book by Neil Stephenson. That's what I think about when I think we're headed towards cyberpunk dystopia. I think about Snow Crash more than I do like the cyberpunk tabletop or even cyberpunk or Blade Runner or something. Like, I think more so like just capitalism hell. There's like a name for that, I can't remember, like post something capitalism. Anyways, the Dawn Project, in partnership with anti-Musk activists, including Tesla Takedown and Resist Austin, said in an emailed statement they plan to host a demonstration on June 12 in downtown Austin to show off safety issues with Tesla's electric vehicles and driver assistance features, which are currently marketed as autopilot and full self-driving. Yeah, I mean, that is a legit concern, although it's like, it is unfortunate that like the, you know, ironically, the people who buy Teslas are likely on this similar, they likely agree in terms of political ideology with these people, and so it's like, yeah, I don't know. I guess like if you just buy Tesla, if you bought a Tesla and now you're just in the crossfire of like these people, when it's just like, I just bought a car that I liked, you know? That kind of sucks. Dan O'Dowd, who is CEO of both Green Hill Software and the Dawn Project, has described the latter as a tech safety and security education business in prior interviews with CNBC. Green Hill Software makes products which are used by direct competitors of Tesla, including Ford and Toyota. And again, there's the incentive, you know, for that person. So, I don't know, sometimes it's hard to like fully get that. But I guess regardless though, just market-wise, you know, finally Google might have, you know, Waymo might have real competition besides like Cruise, which is shut down. I think there's another one called Zoox, which is an Amazon-backed autonomous vehicle company that exists. I'm not sure if they're doing rides though, but I guess the fact that they're even like launching this though now is a good for the actual like industry in general. As soon as there's competition, you know, things just like they're like with AI right now with how competition is, it's like we get new things like every week. You know, they need to keep up. So once Google and like Tesla actually start competing and maybe new players will come in, I'm sure we'll see it progress much quicker. So I'm excited that if nothing else, Waymo's getting competitors. First Tesla that drives itself from factory end of line all the way to customer's house is June. Oh, I think in general though, I didn't even think about this. A benefit is Tesla could sell cars, and then instead of delivering it to the home, it'll just drive itself and deliver itself. It's like you order a car and it just like shows up. You're like, oh, the car's here. It's like it just drove itself to our house after we just bought it. That's cool. That is cool. All right. Let's get see this. This is actual, here's the actual one on the road. Sorry, let me get more than 320p. Like 2 seconds long. You can see it says Robotaxi right here. This is kind of like the Cybertruck font. Interesting. I didn't realize they had like a light bar in the front like that. I know the Cybertrucks do, but... So this is the Model Y, though. It's not the actual Robotaxi vehicle. So did it have... Is there someone in the... It looks like there might be someone in the driver's seat. Is this one... This one doesn't look like it's Robotaxi, but it's probably associated with that one. All right, and then there's another one. Here's one at night. You can see the Robotaxi. You can see the Robotaxi text a lot better. Also, no one in the driver's seat. And it's off. The music. Yep. All right, that's it. Robotaxi's rolling out. Rolling out. There's also a kind of observation I made related to this with Apple from WWDC, Apple's developer conference on Monday, where Apple expanded CarPlay to be CarPlay Ultra, and they essentially take over all screens in your car, like your instrument clusters, from everything from like your speed and RPMs to controlling like AC and heating in the car. I think, that is an interesting play by Apple, because cars are becoming much more software heavy, and especially cars that aren't electric and are kind of more like software first, like Rivian, Tesla, all the other electric car companies. Like, it's more so the legacy companies like Ford. I think Apple's working with Aston Martin, Hyundai, maybe even Toyota. I can't remember. Definitely Hyundai. They're taking over that software part for the car, and they're also expanding the usefulness of your iPhone. Again, I was saying, like, they're really pushing the iPhone still to be an expansion of the iPhone for your car, and eventually, likely with Apple Intelligence, it could, understand and do things related to your car as well, and also just open up third-party ecosystem for developing like AI tools for your car that you could use while driving, I would imagine. And it's also, again, competition. Google has Android Auto. Is it called Android Auto still? But Google has a similar competing product, and so that's likely another reason as well. And then especially with Google, with Gemini just being a good, like literally right here, it's like this is likely going to be Gemini, soon, TM, if it's not already. Apple kind of needs to, it's another platform, another distribution channel that Apple doesn't want Google to completely take over, likely. Yeah. Anyways, I guess with cars becoming much more software heavy, it's not surprising that tech companies want to get involved more with the actual software of the cars. All right, that's really all the big stories I got. I do have this Snap Spectacles story. They are launching lighter augmented reality specs smart glasses in 2026. Smart glasses space is heating up a little bit. Notably, Meta has their Ray-Ban glasses, which are probably leading the way right now. Google launched glasses at I/O. Snap already has a pair of spectacle AR glasses. These are them right here at the CEO. So I guess now it seems like they maybe want a version that's more like the Ray-Ban glasses and Google's spectacles, or Google's smart glasses, that are more like easier to daily drive and also probably cheaper in price. Yeah, and like, yeah, right now it's like, it's literally subscription. Developers only. But this is usually how, you know, it works. That's kind of the Apple Vision Pro. Speaking of Apple again, it's expensive now, but it's really just for developers while the ecosystem gets built out. And then enthusiasts could buy it if they want and be an early tester. So that makes sense. And now they're kind of iterating, making it cheaper, give access to more users. It's interesting. Yeah, Apple, yeah, Meta already has it, but Apple is theoretically, it's like rumors, but I believe it, that they have a smart glasses section, or smart glasses like research department now. Right, Google worked with Warby Parker. That's what they announced at Google I/O for their glasses. So yeah, I guess this space heating up. There's also the play is the smart glasses could potentially be the next mobile compute platform that would replace your phone. Most smart glasses now require you to have like your phone in your pocket, but Meta, likely Google, Apple, what Apple's working on is a complete phone replacement. You don't need to have your phone on you. So seems like we're moving towards that. This was I was gonna cover today. This is kind of the search history, which is interesting, but it's a much bigger report. Yeah, we might take a look at a different day here. Yeah, all right, let's watch a few chill videos to end out the show here. Let's start with this one here. This is a robotics company that they're working on like a humanoid robot for your home, and they seem to be pretty far along. At least like their videos. Again, like manufacturing and everything is a completely different story, but I just want to see what they've updated. Subscribe to them. What they have. Like the visuals are great. Very cinematic, great color.
Hey, Neo, can you hand me my beer?
Doing chores requires that you can take commands, move around the house, and manipulate things to complete tasks. Redwood is a multimodal AI that merges together language control, locomotion, and whole body manipulation into a single neural network that is both seamless.
Okay, wait. We're getting startup speak. Slow down, my boy.
And whole body manipulation, locomotion, language multimodal AI.
Okay.
Redwood is a multimodal AI that merges.
Okay, multimodal AI. It has to do that. It could see. Maybe not audio. Oh no, he said hand me my beer, so it heard him. You could see it has I don't know if it could speak back, but okay. So at least could hear audio and then see and perceive objects.
Merges together language control, locomotion, and whole body manipulation into a single
language control, speaking to it to tell it to do things, locomotion, it moving its arms throughout the whole body. Okay.
Neural network that is both
single neural network and AI, you could say.
Seamless and scalable to all kinds of tasks. Redwood isn't limited to the exact objects and locations seen in the training data.
Generalization. Okay, I'm a little skeptical of this because that's kind of the problem that all the big frontier AI labs are trying to solve, really, is like, how can AI generalize?
It actually...
I guess it's probably general, like, oh, beer, and so it's like, oh, this is probably a beer. Visual generalization, I feel like, is different.
Generalizes to new positions of the objects being grasped. It is also able to pick up a bottle it hasn't seen before during training. By controlling Neo's entire body, Redwood makes it possible for Neo to bend over to reach a far object, or to perform multi-contact actions like opening a door. Whole body manipulation really broadens the scope of chores that Neo can do in the home, such as squatting down.
This is crazy. It's weird that like this like suit that they have over it. I actually think it's a good way. Okay, yeah, bro. No one's talked about these fucking heavy ass humanoid robots bumping into things. Like, look at this. I guarantee you this is from testing. You know, it's like bumping into shit. So, bro, and they're metal. It's like, bro, you bump your wall, it's like drywall dented. New wall needed, you know? So, like, I feel like this suit is actually probably underrated for, like, softening that.
Down to put clothes in the laundry machine. Redwood is still early in development. It doesn't always succeed on the first try. But failure data is really important for improving the model because it teaches the AI what not to do. By deploying Neos in homes like this one, and learning from all these multimodal interactions with physical reality, we'll be making an AI that is smarter, friendlier, and safer.
Wonder if this is like the testing home. It's, bro, science fiction is almost like sometimes not ruined, but like that AI just only experiences that home. It's like, bro, they come outside like, wow, the real world. You know, it's like they can never leave their home. Like, bro, he's just gonna be trying to escape. Just kidding. All right. Oh, look, 16 minutes ago, Redwood AI Mobility. They just must have been talking a lot about this. Yeah, the Google buyouts is interesting. We'll watch some game trailers today. We actually haven't watched any in a while. And I'm sure there's some coming off the backs of new ones. Summer Games Fest. I really like this aesthetic. I don't know how I describe it, but yeah, it almost seems like a movie. Like this looks so great. Bro, this aesthetic, like, I love this. This is like, just this alone, I really like. Like, they definitely pay attention, like, the car. It's like this almost like retro futurism vibe I'm getting a bit. But like a bit more of a modern take on it. This is cool. Baby steps. Or they haven't talked about it. Bro, the fact that this is where it used to be, like, this face is horrible. I kind of actually like the, like, no face. I feel like the face humanizes it in a way. Not saying that's bad, but maybe it is bad actually. I don't know if we want to. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. Do we want people treating robots like humans? That's like, I'm getting fucking torn apart with the robot revolution. All right, anything new? Minecraft How to Train Your Dragon add-on. Okay. Military and incremental complex. Bro, that game sounds right up my alley. Probably cheesy, but yeah, Dune Awakening's out this week. Nothing's catching my eye really. Probably because some of these oh, things are just kind of blending together here. I don't know. I know EVE Online's working on a like a FPS or something, which I would actually like to play. Oh yeah, the new Anno. I haven't actually watched that trailer. Oh yeah, Modulus. This is another one I've been seeing ads for. Oh, Spacecraft. I actually watched this one. I watched this. Initiate capitalism. I love this UI, like old Windows 98. Capitalism. Funny. It almost looks similar to have they made anything else? No, okay. Oh, it's on my wish list already. Clearly on it. Okay, this is the EVE game. There's like one more.
EVE Frontiers Founder Access is the first public step in creating a visionary sci-fi survival experience.
Oh, okay. Oh, maybe this is not what I thought it was. Construct smart structures and enhance gameplay with the space survival MMO's early development builds. Bounty trading options, security build points. Oh man, oh gosh. This game, bro. This is like... if this is like EVE Online, but it's like an open world survival type.
You start your journey alone. A tiny blip in a seemingly endless universe. As you struggle to gain a foothold in this hostile world,
I like the UI.
You can build rudimentary structures, improved ships, components, and more. You'll begin to discover details about the universe and the ancient civilizations whose remnants still roam the skies. Everything requires fuel to operate, and good resource management is crucial to survival.
I really like this UI. It's like it's like a upgraded version almost. But I just like this aesthetic, this UI aesthetic too. Looking over here, it looks like there's tags, filters. So big on manufacturing likely, which is good. That's exactly what I like EVE for. Logistics. This looks very similar to existing EVE Online inventory, or like UI inventory stuff right here. Everything else looks very new, unless this is what new, like, unless EVE is updated. I haven't played in a while.
The most potent source of fuel, crude, is necessary to build formidable ships, advanced structures, and even stargates, reconnecting the vast universe. Smart structures are highly customizable and open the possibility for emergent gameplay only bound by your creativity. Founders have already created custom tournaments, specialized trading hubs, advanced security systems, and...
I'm so confused. Like, people like coding. Oh, I've completely missed out on this. Look at it. So, is it moddable? I can't tell what this is. This looks like CSS or something, like dot tabs. Which enhance, bump up the quality. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take a screenshot. We're gonna open the screenshot. The screenshot's not 4K. Like maybe it's like, I don't know what else would use brackets like this.
Advanced security.
Can't see.
Advanced security systems and more.
All the UI looks great though. Smart storage unit. Edit unit. Fuel to online. DAP link.
Are you ready to
Whoops. Wait, what did I
custom
see?
tournaments,
Sorry,
specialized
I know
trading
you were
hubs, advanced security systems, and more?
Demo pods, jump Steve, JSON, like what are this is like? I guess I'm not sure what they're showing. Demo pods.
Are you ready to lose yourself on the frontier?
EveFrontier.com. I'm going to this. Let's watch this trailer here.
eFrontier is an invitation for everyone that have had the idea in their brain to make a game. And often the best way to make a game is to start and modify an existing game. We have now created an MMO server-side modding platform, and we offer an invitation to you to come and build with us. You can build tools, you can build worlds, you can do so many things. And this is a great way to start your game development adventure by sort of playing around in the amazing survival space horror sandbox we have created.
This is so cool. This is actually really cool. They're almost creating like a...
When we made Team Online, we...
like Minecraft-esque style, like, sandbox game that you could just make like mods into and build onto. That's literally what I'm
very much wanted to make a sandbox experience where most of the things and the infrastructure in the game would actually be built by players. But we did build quite a bit of it ourselves. Seeing what emerged from Eve, especially when it comes to the third-party development ecosystem, we could actually give a lot more agency to players to literally build the world. So as we go through this process of stripping down to a survival game, we are on the other hand building up an amazing modding platform. Basically what eFrontier enables third-party developers is to mod the actual server, creating additional software that both read and writes the world state. And that, I think, will enable something truly astounding that has never been seen before. But this is very much inspired by the third-party ecosystem that is developed around EVE Online. We are basically supercharging that.
So that makes sense why they're showing all this like coding stuff. Still don't know what language this is or like what.
With the smart assemblies and the modding platform were built into Frontier. And what we have seen so far in our various hackathons and events, and what we've just seen in the sort of builder community overall, absolutely delivers on that vision in spades.
Wow. Was this just announced? Oh, it's not free? I thought it was a free game. Of course it's a subscription though. All right, I'm gonna have to look into this. This looks cool. Okay, this is like I think it's like a building, like you could build your own. It's Terra Tech, I feel like I remember. Oh, this is like a Survivor-esque, like Vampire Survivor type style game. Kind of cool though. I like this idea. Good good take on the genre, I guess. Merging their style. Cool. Oh, here's a new Anno. I haven't seen this trailer yet, actually.
If you want to be immortalized in ornateness, here's a little lesson.
So it's like Anno started, what was it, like Anno 22 or Anno 20, or what was the first Anno? Okay, so it started with 16, and then they climbed, they went down, and then they started 2070. This is the first one I played, and now they went up, and then they're climbing back down. Now went way back. I thought they maybe like started at a high, and then they're just like slowly reversing. We'd take a lot of planning, I guess.
Greatness. If governing is your vocation, it's all about location, location, location.
Go where you haven't gone before.
Find a religion.
Or five.
Or more.
Romanize your territories. Or keep them Celtic.
This seems not like other Ubisoft trailers.
Sharpen your steel or lose your head. I prefer Pax Romana instead.
Looks cool. I love this looks more Greek than Roman. I guess this is the Colosseum, but I like Roman Empire, like this era. UI's very clean too, actually. Cool. I thought it was a good trailer. Looks like a I'm seeing. Oh, you guys can't see. Looks like this is the German government supported this. It says supported by, but cool. Actually, good trailer by Ubisoft. Oh, they typoed in the title. Yeah, no, it's Ubisoft. I thought it was a good trailer still, so I don't know, I might actually get this. I mean, I know it's in November, and that's kind of usually a busy time for games, so we'll see. This is also a game I really need to Oh, I thought this game was out. I swear I've been getting like ads for this, I swear. Maybe it's just a demo. Oh yeah, Steam demo is available. I'm excited for this though. It's a like a factory builder with great aesthetics. I value that. I like good graphics. At least use cool graphics. And I really like this. Cool.
This is a factory and modular.
It's like almost the opposite of Factorio, where Factorio is like hardcore, like killing, you know, like trains. This is more like peaceful, you know, a little zenful. Like just build your factory.
Here, we're producing blue cores. Let's see how we got here. This facility was built out of these 3 modules, which were joined, stamped, and dyed with pigment. Produced here, in our blue pigment refinery, which was constructed from these modules, made by combining these modules, cut from cubes, which were melted from polyrock, extracted here.
Looks cool. Very peaceful. Yeah, it does look very similar to Shapes. I kind of agree with this, but I think it's unique enough. It looks cool. Comments don't seem to agree, but all right. And this, I'm not sure if we'll watch this whole thing. I watched some of this. It looks.
Welcome, pioneers, to our very first look at the development build of Spacecraft. We're really excited to show you where the game's at right now and give you a feel for some of the systems we're building behind the scenes. Keep in mind, everything you're about to see is work in progress and doesn't yet fully reflect what we envision for the game at launch. In this dev blog, we're focusing on the tutorial, which gives you your first taste of how the game plays and introduces some of the core systems. Your journey starts on Babylon 7.
They have a spacecraft. The game's just called Spacecraft. That's kind of like rough naming. Look at it on Steam. Oh, it's on my wish list. It's so funny. Like, I scroll through the Game Trailers YouTube channel, find games I like, you know, or I would be interested in, and then I just already have them wish list. Like, clearly, it's like I know what I like. Picking games that I do. 2025 Shiro Games. I would say this sounds familiar. Are they just publishing? No, they're a development studio. Wow, okay, cool. I mean, the fact that they've made... Did they actually publish this or develop this? They developed this. They made War Tales. Okay, this is like these guys are legit. Northgard? Okay, cool. That gives me more hope. It's Spacecraft is an online space exploration and building game. Explore a vast galaxy of solar system and planets, mine and craft resources, design, build ships, automate planetary base and interplanetary logistics, trade and cooperate. Game's right up my alley. We'll definitely be paying attention to this. It doesn't have a release date, but it says this year. It says an online space game. I wonder if it's like local. It's massively multiplayer. Maybe it's like Space Engineers or something. One thing about Space Engineers I feel like though is it is like a lot of grind. It's a little grindy. A little too grindy on like that aspect. I wish you could kind of just jump into like doing stuff more. That's not just the sandbox. Although I think there's Space Engineers too. Maybe that's different. Yeah. Nope, not Space Engine. Early access. This is more like a graphics upgrade though. Alright, that's gonna do it for today's stream. Hope everyone enjoyed. We'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific, as usual. Yeah, appreciate everyone hanging out and tuning in. Hope you learned something or entertained. And we'll be back tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific. Alright, see you guys. Bye.